What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. Shaboom. Hi, good morning, YouTube. I'm getting my coffee cup out of here. I want to make me some coffee. So honestly, the funny thing about life is that there's a lot of perspectives. There's a lot of ways to look at the world. And it's really through conceptions, like placing thought into reality. And like, I don't know, I was taking a shower and I was thinking about monotheism and pantheism. And every religion like tells you to believe only in their Bible or their word. But like, if you want to study theology, if you want to like truly know God, then you don't just study one, you study all of them. And like, God's an overarching like archetype. So like, there's a lot of ways to look at God. And it's about being inclusive and adding things to God to give you a more well-rounded perspective. I gave a guy a Uber ride yesterday 4 hours away from Fort Worth to like, where did I give him a ride to? To like Tyler, Texas. And that's like 4 hours from where I live. And so we were driving there and we were talking about stuff. His name was John. And John got me to realize that everyone has a past. And like, we change every week. I mean, honestly, people change every day. Because you learn that you can be different. You learn that you are able to act differently. You learn how to be more kind. You learn how to be more loving. And like, if you're being like Christ, then that's the idea. I mean, no one is Christ. A lot of people fall short of God because they're trying to fit God into their own human conception of how they see the world. And the more that you think about the future and you get out of your head in the moment, like that really, it expands your horizons. It expands what you believe about yourself, because you realize that you are a finite creature, but your soul is infinite. And the more you bring infinitudes to life, the better that you incorporate others. I mean, it's all about getting out of your own mind and like being love for others. And he also got me to realize that really my work got me to realize that being focused on first principles, being focused on love, care, respect, kindness, that's what creates a good human. And like, I always look down on myself because I work at a fast food place. And in reality, like, I love my job. But I hear other people talk about my job or like the work that I do, and it sometimes makes me feel bad about myself because I'm not being like them. But in reality, like, you shouldn't want to be them. You should want to be yourself and do that to the best of your ability. And the more that you try to produce your best conduct, the greater that makes your life. And it's really by focusing in the present, because you can never really escape yourself. I mean, you can try to get away from yourself by distractions or by activities. But if you are always distracting yourself, trying to get away from yourself in the present, then you're not ever truly learning. And like, that's the other thing that I was thinking about, is like learning. Like, you have to formulate your own opinions about life. But not everyone's opinion about life is right. Because a lot of people see the world in the wrong way. Because they're not trying to be inclusive. They're trying to be exclusive. They're trying to make other people out to be bad. And that's the problem that I have with religion, essentially, is that, like, there are bad people in the world, but I don't like to see that in them, because then that just makes me feel odd or off about them, you know? But at the same time, like, it's the ethical dilemmas, the moral dilemmas. Like, I don't know. I I don't think that it's good to receive pleasure from harming others, because that comes back to you in karma. And Buddhism has taught me that by focusing on your breath, you really start to see that life is created from what you want. And really, however you want to live your life, it's what you create. And that's why I don't really believe in. Well, I mean, I do believe in creation, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm creating something with the power of my voice. And that's the cool thing about language, is that God gives us the power to speak words into reality. And whenever you really get down to it, God is the spoken, written word. And writing and speaking, you can produce very good content that way. Because it's about the development of your intellect and thinking independently from the herd. Because a lot of people just want to tell you how it is, or tell you what it is. But you have to discover that for yourself. And that's why I love science. Because life's an experience. It's an experiment. It's all about bringing in deeper understanding. Because honestly, you only understand something whenever you've gone through it. And like, going through struggles, experiencing having no money, experiencing being in a broken home, experiencing deep pain caused by other people or caused by yourself. Like, I haven't always been very kind to myself. Sometimes I've looked down on myself. But you have to look up to God, up to your spirit, up to the light. That sun right there. And like, that's what true love actually is reflecting those qualities back to people. Because like, if you actually love another person, then you don't want to cause them harm. You don't want to take things away from them. You want them to have a great life. As should everyone, in my personal opinion. Because like, that's how you produce good conduct. That's how you produce good action. Is wanting other people to have the things that they want. And honestly, a lot of life is about slowing down and really learning to appreciate what you have in the moment. Because honestly, you could wake up and it all could be gone. Literally, it could all just be gone. Like, I woke up, I always thought that I was going to die before I got to the age of 18. March 17, I rolled my car 8 times. I broke my elbow, my thumb, my eye socket, I lost my eyelid, fractured parts of my brain, or fractured parts of my spine, suffered a brain injury in 4 places. And that changed me. That made me into a different person, because I damaged my body. And I don't really remember how I was before, because my memory is sometimes hazy. But I feel like I was a little bit more sharper. But honestly, there's only one person that actually knows you, and that's your spirit. It's your conscience, really, in actuality. Your conscience and the way that you feel about yourself is what truly knows you. Because it's what makes you feel right and wrong about yourself. And the more that you are a conscious person, you do things with intent. You do things with reason. It shows you that you can. Because honestly, a lot of people are shrouded by ignorance. They listen to other people that are ignorant. And they believe that that's good. But being hateful, being unknowledgeable, like, that's not good. Because if you don't have knowledge, then you're not developing yourself. That's why it's important to read. Because reading is what develops your intellect. It develops your mind. And it takes time to develop yourself. But it's all about growing up. I mean, he said growing up is, growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional. And honestly, I really like that, because you can always be a kid. I mean, everyone, honestly, probably feels like a kid their whole life until they start to get old and their body starts to deteriorate. And then you start to feel your age. But you don't have to feel your age. You can be whatever age you want. It's all about how you act. That's what maturity is. It's learning to act your age. But I don't know, I think it's just about having fun, honestly. But if you're always like chasing after pleasure, chasing after what feels good, then you're following your ego most of the time. And I don't think that following your ego all the time is the right way to be, because it blocks you off from the world. It makes you angry with yourself. Because, like, my ego is my own sense of importance. How I see myself. How I interact with the world. But it's really about making other things important. Things outside of yourself important. Because whenever you do that, you start to see the truth. Because there are things that care about you. And you should care about other things. That's what the ego really is. It doesn't really give a fuck. It doesn't really care about anything. Because it just wants to die. And that's the crazy thing about life. Is that whenever you actually are your spirit, you're okay with death. Because you know the truth. And that's that you go on. Forever and ever and ever and ever. That's what the cool thing about infinity. Buzz Lightyear. Alright, YouTube. I'll talk to you later. This is Ezekiel 36. Starting today off with a Bible verse. Well, the end of this video, the Bible verse. Ezekiel 36. Restoration for Israel. Son of man, prophesy to Israel's mountains. Give them this message. O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Your enemies have taunted you, saying, Ah, now the ancient heights belong to us. Therefore, son of man, give the mountains of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. Your enemies have attacked you from all directions, making you the property of many nations and the object of much mocking and slander. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. He speaks to the hills and mountains, ravines and valleys, and to ruined, waste, and long deserted cities that have been destroyed and mocked by the surrounding nations. This is what the sovereign Lord says. My jealous anger burns against these nations, especially Edom, because they have shown utter contempt for me by gleefully taking my land for themselves as plunder. Therefore, prophesy to the hills and mountains, the ravines and valleys of Israel. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am furious that you have suffered shame before the surrounding nations. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I have taken a solemn oath that those nations will soon have their own shame to endure. But the mountains of Israel will produce heavy crops of fruit for my people, for they will be coming home again soon. See, I care about you, and I will pay attention to you. Your ground will be plowed and your crops planted. I will greatly increase the population of Israel, and the ruined cities will be rebuilt, and filled with people. I will increase not only the people, but also your animals, O mountains of Israel. I will bring people to live on you once again. I will make you even more prosperous than you were before. Then you will know that I am the Lord. I will cause my people to walk on you once again, and you will be their territory. You will never again rob them of their children. This is what the sovereign Lord says. The other nations taunt you, saying, Israel is a land that devours its own people and robs them of their children. But you will never again devour your people or rob them of their children, says the sovereign Lord. I will not let you hear those other nations insult you, and you will no longer be mocked by them. You will not be a land that causes its nation to fall, says the sovereign Lord. Then this further message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, when the people of Israel were living in their own land, they defiled it by the evil way they lived. To me their conduct was as unclean as woman's menstrual cloth. They polluted the land with murder and the worship of idols. So I poured out my fury on them. I scattered them to many lands to punish them for the evil way they had lived. But when they were scattered among the nations, they brought shame on my holy name. For the nations said, These are the people of the Lord, but he couldn't keep them safe in his own land. Then I was concerned for my holy name, on which my people brought shame among the nations. Therefore give the people of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. I am bringing you back, but not because you deserve it. I am doing it to protect my holy name, on which you brought shame while you were scattered among the nations. I will show you how holy my great name is, the name on which you brought shame among the nations. And when I reveal my holiness through you before their very eyes, says the sovereign Lord, then the nations will know that I am the Lord. For I will gather you up from all the nations and bring you home again to your land. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. Your filth will be washed away, and you will no longer worship idols. And I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out your stony, stubborn heart, and give you a tender, responsive heart. And I will put my spirit in you so that you will follow my decrees and be careful to obey my regulations. And you will live in Israel, the land I gave your ancestors long ago. You will be my people, and I will be your God. I will cleanse you of your filthy behavior. I will give you good crops of grain, and I will send no more famines on the land. I will give you your great harvest from your fruit trees and fields, and never again will the surrounding nations be able to scoff at your land for its famines. Then you will remember your past sins and despise yourself for all the detestable things you did. But remember, says the sovereign Lord, I am not doing this because you deserve it. O my people of Israel, you should be utterly ashamed of all you have done. This is what the sovereign Lord says. When I cleanse you from your sins, I will repopulate your cities, and the ruins will be rebuilt. The field that used to lie empty and desolate in plain view of everyone will again be farmed. And when I bring you back, people will say, This former wasteland is now like the Garden of Eden. The abandoned and ruined cities now have strong walls and are filled with people. Then the surrounding nations will survive. Then the surrounding nations that survive will know that I, the Lord, have rebuilt this ruin and replanted the wasteland. For I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will do what I say. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I am ready to hear Israel's prayer and to increase their numbers like a flock. They will be as numerous as the scattered flocks that fill Jerusalem's streets at the time of her festivals. The ruined cities will be crowded with people once more, and everyone will know that I am the Lord. Amen. Thanks for listening.